Hello and welcome to Lakewood Next Daily Devotions. Before we dive in today, I just want to start with a question. When was the last time you were shocked by Jesus? So often we have heard and read the stories of the Gospels. We've heard about Jesus' life, His birth, His death, His resurrection, and His ascension. But sometimes when you hear something so often, you forget to be shocked by it. Jesus, the world at the time had not expected Jesus. They expected the Messiah. They were looking forward to the Messiah. But then when Jesus came, He acted in ways that didn't align with their expectation of the Messiah. And one of the most vocally opposed groups to Jesus was the Pharisees. They believed that when the Messiah came, He would overthrow their enemies, set up an eternal kingdom in which they would play a significant part because they were the holiest of the holies. Yet when Jesus came, He stood in opposition to so much that they cared about. In fact, in the text we're going to be picking up today, right before our text for the day, Jesus says this, quoting the prophet Isaiah, about the Pharisees, "These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me." Jesus shocks the religious leaders and even His disciples by saying that there is something bigger than just the traditional actions and washings that come along with the Jewish oral law. And so I'm going to continue it. We're going to pick this up in Matthew chapter 15, starting in verse 10. So Jesus has just kind of called out the Pharisees, and then He says this. He called the people to Him and said to them, "Hear and understand. It is not what goes into the mouth that defiles a person, but what comes out of the mouth. This defiles a person." Then the disciples came and said to Him, "Do you know that the Pharisees were offended when they heard this saying?" First, I really love that Jesus is not afraid of offending the Pharisees at all. But the disciples are like, "Hey, you might want to cool it." They're like, "Did you realize that you offended them?" And this is Jesus' response. He answered, "Every plant that my heavenly Father has not planted will be rooted up. Let them alone. They are blind guides. And if the blind lead the blind, both will fall into a pit." But Peter said to Him, "Explain this parable to us." And He said, "Are you also still without understanding? Do you not see that whatever goes into the mouth passes into the stomach and is expelled? But what comes out of the mouth proceeds from the heart, and this defiles a person." Jesus had a whole different way of thinking about devotion and obedience. Jesus shocked everyone by saying that ceremonial traditions don't make someone clean before God. So the issue here was not whether Jesus washed His hands or was ceremonial clean. The issue was the unwashed heart of the Pharisees. And truthfully, to us, it hits us too. Because what we say, what we do, and what we love reveals what's really inside of us. Jesus calls out empty religion and readdresses or redirects us to the heart. If I could put it in one way, it would be to say it this way. Jesus didn't come to refine religion. He came to redefine righteousness. And that's hard. Because so many people, when they approach faith, approach it from the perspective of saying, I'm going to fix my actions. I'm going to stop doing the bad stuff I was doing, and I'm going to keep doing the good stuff I was doing, and I'm going to add some more good stuff onto that, and that's how I'm going to live my Christian life. But the problem with that is that if we only direct or address our devotion at the level of our actions, we will miss the core, the foundation at our heart. True change happens from the inside out. And so as you go through this day, just think through and pray through the idea of how you may depend more on your religious habits to feel clean while avoiding real heart change. Ask Jesus to help you see what's really inside and to cleanse you from the inside out. Be blessed today.